advice would you give to young women or someone that's going through a divorce and that, because we're trained as girls, get married, have children. What do you do when that's taken away, for whatever reasons?
My mother raised me to be a wife and a mother and to be married. And that was my dream, that was my goal. But it didn't work out. Sometimes it just does not work. And I had to find a way to recover from that. It took a long time for me. For women who went through what I went through, I can say pray. I know people say it all the time, but it's the truth. It's what saved me. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was lost. And you do get lost. I don't have a whole lot of words to say, step 1, 2, 3, 4. There are no steps. The first step is to get up. And there are many days when I didn't want to. I felt that crushed. And get to that next few minutes. Get to that next hour. There's no program. There's no book. Everybody has their own individual hurt. And you can't deal with it like somebody else deals with it. It's your hurt. It may be a divorce or it may be a breakup, but it's still everybody's individual breakup. And there is no calendar of events for that. You have to go through your own hurt, and it can be done. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. There's no ease into it. You got to start it a day at a time. And I'm not gonna say, well, you eventually you will get over it. But before you get over it, you're gonna have to hurt some more to get over it. Because I did. But it's possible. It's possible.
What have you learned since you've spoken out? What have you learned about yourself, and what has surprised you the most about this process of speaking out?
I learned about myself still every day that I have more courage than I thought I had. For a time, I was dedicated to not saying anything because I did worry about the backlash. But in my silence, I was victimizing my own self. I had already been victimized, but I was re-victimizing my own self. And the stronger I got emotionally, the more I didn't talk, I was messing myself up even more emotionally. I had to have a voice for me, for my son, and for women out there that's going through this, maybe not on this financial thing, but it's happening to women everywhere. And it is important to say, I'm not going to take this. I'm just not going to take it. It's not an easy thing to be courageous. It's not, but the gifts, the rewards on the other side of your fear is major. And when you get to the other side of it, you don't even think about how scared you were. And that's why I'm here. I can tell people it was ferocious. It was. It's the hardest thing I've ever had to overcome in my life, even with the passing of my parents. Because my parents passed, and there was some closure in that. But when you have no emotional closure, and that other person has wandered off and won't give you that closure, then you got to make it, I'm going to close this out. And that is difficult. That is difficult. But it's possible. It's possible. It's a fight worth taking on. It is.
What do you want people to know most about you? And what has been the most, biggest misconception about you since this battle has started?
I think the biggest misconception is that Mary's angry or she's jealous over his success, all of that. As far as the success go, I know that I'm a big part of that. And what I do know is how everyone else is living on his side of it. They're living off of my efforts. I'm not living off of theirs. Okay? If anything, there's a major disappointment that after all this time, we can't sit down and talk about our issues. I don't understand that. I really don't. I don't know why it has to be this and that. For the sake of all children, grown-ups need to just get together. For the sake of the kids. It's not about us. But the public thing for me, it was a must-do. It was something I fought not to do for years. Prior to that video, no one had heard from me. They never heard me say one negative word. But before I spoke out, there were a lot of negative misconceptions about me coming from him. And I'm here to tell you, I can honestly say my 16 years with him wasn't hell. No, they weren't. I loved him, and we had fun. We were having a good time. And in marriages, you do have those up and down days. But it was not agony, oh God, you know? I don't understand why that is a platform for him right now, for his books, for his comedy. It's like, look at this bad person. Because he had the option to go. He didn't go. I initiated the divorce. I initiated that. I filed. That is what made that final. Because if I was all of that, go. He had the option. But I'm a very caring, giving person. I've made some mistakes. People have caught me on a bad day, and I'm going, no, I don't want to talk. And I'm not here to say that I had made any mistakes in my life, but I put my best foot forward in my marriage. And I say still, I don't hate him. I don't hate anybody. There used to be a time when I was ignorant enough to go there, but disappointed, yes. Yes, I'm disappointed in him and her for not coming together, for the both of them to declare publicly that they are of God. And our families are everything, but yet you're interfering with a relationship between a mother and a son. And those things, they don't add up. If people really listened, me, if I had his public persona, I would have said, you know what, Mary, it's not the way you say, let's get together and talk about it. Let's meet you and the present wife. Let's go on the radio together. Let's go on the TV together. He's in 60 markets. Let's have that conversation on his 60 markets. It don't matter to me. I'm open for it. But you have to think about the people that are not willing to talk about the issues, but want to talk about the legal side. What I'm going to stop this person from saying. I don't have to defend what I say because it's the truth. And I don't need a lawyer. I don't need a legal system to fight for me. You know, my fight's not with the legal system. In reality, like I said, we ought to be able to sit down, whether publicly or behind closed doors. But because it's played out publicly, I have to do my thing publicly. I can't sit back anymore and become the stepping person, you know, the walking, the rug mat person. I did that for 5 years. And the more I stayed silent, the worse it got for me. And people started to feel like they were power over me. And I couldn't have that. I couldn't have my son thinking that with all that had gone down, Mom's not saying anything. But it was for him. I chose not to for so long, but no more.
Can you forgive even without an apology? If he never acknowledges you, if he never changes a single thing, can you forgive?
I can forgive.
And how will you do it? How will you do it?
Just do it. I can't cruise up on it. Now I've had a lot of years of crying and sadness and depression, and I don't have to go there anymore. I just don't. Sometimes when you don't get that closure, you have to close that door yourself. It would have been more pleasant if we could have sat down and said, in the 16 years, it wasn't all bad, but I had to move on. I can understand that. It happens. It would have hurt, but I would have respected that more. But I don't hate him. He's my father. He's my son's father. Part of him is part of my winter. So no, right now, I could easily sat down with the two of them and say, you know what, let's just get okay, because we can do it today, right now, right this minute, phone call, let's get it together. I'm willing to do that.
Have you reached out to him and seen?
Nothing. Personal assistant, people in the circle, nothing. I have not gotten a bleep or a blurb. All I'm getting is a lot of legal notices. But I have not had a personal conversation with either one. Nothing. Door shut.
So what do you ultimately want?
I ultimately want a free and open relationship with my son. Uninterfered with. That's what I ultimately want.